Is an impromptu review because today's scent of the day is something I realised I hadn't reviewed before, but I've had it for quite a while, and it's only a decant that I have. I don't have a full bottle, and please excuse my dishevelled appearance. It is a decant of Nasomatto's Baraonda. This fragrance, I've at least tested once most of Nasomatto's creations. They all come in 30 ml extract de parfum. I think they even come in oil, parfum oils as well. But what you mainly see people have are those nice little bottles with the very distinctive caps on them. The Baraonda cap is like a cork material. They're really lovely bottles to look at. Out of all the ones I've tried, though, Baraonda is definitely my favorite, along with probably Pardon and Duro. Now, I sprayed this on this morning, and Baraonda, for those of you who know it, is usually gets described because in the opening it's got a very distinctive whiskey note. Now, I'm not a whiskey aficionado, and if someone was watching this who was and smelled Baraonda, they might say, oh, this is nothing like whiskey at all. To me, it's what I'm immediately reminded of when I smell the opening. But for the first time today, and I've worn this several times, for the first time today, in the opening, that whiskey note was still there, but it was accompanied by a lovely, lush, musky rose note with it. And for some reason, before today, that rose was never predominant on my skin. And today, when I smell it, it is, which is kind of what prompted me to do this review. So it opens for me with a whiskey, that rose, and as soon as it starts to develop, one thing I should mention here is that Nasomatto perfumer Alessandro Gautieri doesn't ever provide any official note list, which usually is just a kind of marketing thing, and if you had to, if I'm kind of sort of clutching at straws at what I'm smelling without any guidance from a note list. I certainly smell that boozy note. I certainly smell rose and a musky one at that. And when I say musky, I'm kind of describing this rose as a thick, wet rose, but not overpowering. It's beautifully blended with that whiskey note. When this starts to dry down, it gets into a woody phase. So it basically dries down into what to me smells like a vague woody aroma chemical base. The reason I say aroma chemical is because none of the woods to my nose are recognizable as a particular wood note, like cedar or oud or sandalwood or any of those things. What I do smell, because I have a little jar of it here, is I get quite a bit of ambroxan in the base. Now, I think in the fragrance circles, ambroxan has become a little bit of a dirty word, and I pretty much people would blame Dior Sauvage for that. But I actually quite like ambroxan as a standalone note, and here it's a lovely base to use in this fragrance. With this fragrance, it is certainly like a darker, warmer kind of fragrance. It's not the kind of fragrance that is versatile, that can be used in a lot of occasions, but it is always enjoyable to wear. It's cloudy and overcast today, a little bit cooler. It's raining and I'm really enjoying it. Maybe it's the humidity that's bringing this rose out a little bit more. But I really enjoy Baraonda. When my decant finishes, I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence. A while ago, this used to be a top 10 fragrance for me, and it's kind of fallen off my radar. I still enjoy wearing it. It's just not something that I always think about wearing. I'm not lusting after it, and I don't miss it when I'm not wearing it. But it is beautifully pleasant. At the moment, it's just I don't think I need it in my collection once my decant's empty. And they aren't cheap for the 30ml, even for the 30ml extract. Australian dollars, we're talking around $250. Whereas other niche indie brands, relative size and concentration can be found a little bit cheaper. And just as enjoyable. I get good performance from this as I would expect from an extract de parfum. Projection is also pretty good in the beginning, but you know, always not too loud. Given that this is quite a boozy scent, you probably don't want it to be a huge projector either. So I get a good 8 hours where it's noticeable on my skin, just wafting up from wherever I've sprayed it. Definitely cooler weather is more suitable. I don't think this would be quite enjoyable when it is warm or hot evenings, maybe, but you know, that never matters to me. And certainly unisex. In fact, this would be something I would really enjoy smelling on the opposite sex. That's really all I have to say about Nasomatto's Baraonda. If you've tried it, leave your thoughts on this fragrance in the comments below. And I'm off to camp for a few days now. This will be the last video for at least probably a week. And my next video will actually be my new top 10 from my collection. So I hope you see that when it comes out. But obviously, if you're subscribed, you might get a notification. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching.